Let us now talk about a fictional world that I shall call Tethys. First, let's make a couple things clear about the nature of the world we're dealing with. Normal scientific laws, the law of gravity, law of attraction, etc., do not exist, but instead are replaced with a variety of other fields. This is because this world has a flat Earth model, with the sun rising and setting on opposing sides of the world. This includes an alternate cosmology that fits within this world, where the world itself is shaped like an oval, with the sun rising and setting at opposite ends of this world. One could travel to each end of this world and experience a sunrise or sunset, even to the extent of touching the sun. With this comes a series of ramifications. The problem of heat. Heat comes from a certain type of thermal energy which flows through the world in various biomes. This is how an Arctic tundra can exist miles away from a tropical rainforest and vice versa. However, there is the general idea of the south being warmer and the north being colder, and seasonal variations shift due to the sun interacting with ley lines related to thermal energy. The problem of time zones. Time zones simply do not exist in this world. If it's 7 in the morning somewhere, it's 7 in the morning in the opposite end of the world. However, the sun rises and sets in certain places, which is different for different regions of the world. This is why some regions experience the sunrise in midday and set much later in night, though the regions ultimately are the same. In regards to what happens at the edge of the world, the air gradually becomes less breathable and, well, the environment less habitable. This is a very slow process, but if one goes too far from the world, he reaches the very real potential of facing creatures of the night, too horrible for one to face alone. This is made additionally horrible by those wishing to deal with the mystical, as these practices require a pure heart without playing God. Technology and magic are completely separate. However, scientific practices feel very different. Here's an example. Gravity itself is created by various vibrations and resonances. You can tune in various items like crystals or other materials to fit in with certain layers of gravity. This all has to do with how the sun, the earth, the crystal or tuner, the energy field of gravity, and the item you'd want to levitate work together. Because of this, recent technological advancements have allowed the creation of aerial citadels, gigantic cities floating in the sky, often with mines to collect previously undiscovered upper atmosphere microorganisms and other forms of self-replicating resources. Magic itself operates in a completely different function, less intertwined with the physical means of how the world works, and can never be truly known, even if you try to use scientific methods. This is also because wizards have used magic in a way that's completely antithetical to known scientific methods. Their powers should not work, but they do, and they can be interacted with by trained scholars. However, the dominant perception within this world is that magic is either not real, is evil, has been made obsolete by scientific advancements, or is simply another field of science that can be dealt with as such. The reason why science has so far won against magic politically is that science can build all societies and can work in a logical manner, while magic itself is more individually focused. With magic, one's intent must be pure, and he can only look into certain fields without demonic consequences. Magic is focused on individuals who go on their own way and have pursuits beyond mere political or earthly dominance. Often, the elites of various societies practice demonic magic while being believed to be entirely scientific, materialist, or religiously pure, though this is not always the case. Don't mistake this to be a condemnation of magic in and of itself, however, as magic can take you much further than any scientific advancement ever could. The biological makeup of this world is based on the Earth during the Carboniferous period, being much wetter and cooler than real life. Far from the annoyances of real life, bugs have become dominant predators in tropical forests but have been outcompeted in drier or cold environments. Within the rest of the world, birds and mammals are the dominant organisms, with various animals similar to real-life creatures becoming more and more dominant and respected. Creatures such as the Brontoscorpio of the Silurian period are still around on the beach and are often symbols of national prowess for various nations. There's also a creature known as the Ketwarus, a type of pterodactyl that used to be the world's equivalent of horses due to its ability to fly. However, the Ketwarus have been domesticated so hard, they have gone almost completely extinct in the wild and are much less common in captivity, as such creatures are much more inefficient when compared to cars and cannot withstand the upper atmosphere where they would have returned to use in the modern era. Generally, creatures within this world consist of a mix of prehistoric and present-day animals with new evolutions of already dead organisms. Dogs, cats, horses, pigs, and whatever is familiar in our timeline are real, though certain creatures such as Hynerpaton, Meganeura, Dimetrodon, and others also exist within remote regions. Much of the bizarre creatures lie in the outskirts of the world where human exploration isn't entirely safe, often seen as the last pockets of pristine wilderness. Both the Holy Empire and United Republic have agreed that certain resource-poor areas are to be off-limits for any nation to settle, though poor nations and weaker states consider these declarations of hypocrisy from national and international organizations. In regards to this world's politics, here are the general themes I seek to impart into this world. Keep in mind that they represent the moral lessons I seek to give, not necessarily the dominant political state within Tethys. The United Republic, for example, is an embodiment of modern progressivism. A lot of the time, a conflict between traditional values versus the path of reform and progress comes out. The main question is this: which side is truly progressive? Well, if you truly believe in progress, you have to progress society from something. Thus, true progress comes from the further refinement of tradition, not the complete destruction of it. Progress advances towards God, while fallbacks and backslides oppose His will. Now let's take a look at modern progressivism. Modern progressivism, far from true progress, strives to send everyone back to paganism, sexual degeneracy, and pure evil. Modern progressivism hates beauty and any type of objective moral standard. For this and this alone, modern progressivism is the exact opposite of true progress. For this reason, we must be careful not to confuse stated intentions and the general shift the world is heading into with the advancement of true progress. Not doing so is like tossing yourself into a rain of fire so big it completely envelops you. In short, true progress comes with following God, irrespective of tradition. This means that a traditionalist society that is rooted in God may be very progressive, while a monotheist uprising in a traditionally polytheist nation will also be progressive. Monotheism is the bedrock of spiritual life. Even though empires may not be eternal, the will to greatness and the process of building an empire is a significant act in and of itself. Without growth, there is decay. There is no completely valid equilibrium. Build the empire and grow civilization, as the pursuit of glory is greater than the pursuit of decadence. Also, do not confuse the ever-shifting demands of the masses or the cyclical nature of technological advancement with true progress, for true progress always puts God first.